All right, so moving on. After what we saw week one, can Mac Jones lead the Patriots to the playoffs? Rookie Mac Jones. What do you think about his performance?
I thought he played very well. I thought he played very well. It seems like
It was a game, man. That was a close game. Close
that
game.
he
Yeah.
fits in that system like a glove. Like he really does. Like I don't want to say he looks like Tom Brady because obviously he has a very long way to go, but just the way that he manages the offense in that sense, like and the way that they seems like they scheme their game seems as if it's like that Tom Brady esque. It seems like Josh McDaniels has been able to kind of go back to how they used to play. Because obviously you couldn't necessarily do that with Cam Newton. Cam Newton, he didn't really give you that capability. And also Cam had a different element to his game that I think they wanted to test out, like he did back when he had Tim Tebow in Denver. But I will say, like, yeah, man, Mac Jones fits in that system very well, and I think that's why they picked him over Cam. I don't think it was anything to do with Cam's quality of play. I think a lot of it just had to do that Mac Jones just fits what they want to do more. And yeah, I mean, they spent a shit ton of money in free agency. They got a lot of players back from COVID that opted out, and they're going to be pretty good. Dolphins, I will say, is a borderline playoff team. I mean, at the end of the day, they went 10-6 last year, which any other season that would have been a playoff record to get you in.
Yep.
And they fought him tooth and nail all the way to the end. And for his very first game ever against a very solid defense like Miami, he looked very good. I am thoroughly impressed. And I don't know if they make it to the playoffs. I don't know if they have enough oomph to get him there, like on in the sense of like offensive weapons on the wideouts. But I think that gets them in the hunt. At the end of the day, they went 7-9 last year, and they were not a good team. They're a lot better team, have a lot better players. I
Yep.
expect them, and you obviously have the greatest coach of all time, which you can never count out. One of the greatest defensive minds of all time, you can never count out. I think they get in there. I think maybe 9-8, which is still weird to say. Like I think 9-8,
Yeah.
and they get in
They're
the
9-8.
hunt. And yeah, with the 17 game season. So yeah, I think they could get in the hunt. I don't know if they get in. I wouldn't be surprised if they get in, but I think they're
Yeah.
definitely in the hunt. I think they're definitely in the hunt. But
I could definitely agree with
AFC's
your
AFC's
take on
tough.
that. Yeah.
AFC's
I
tough
could
because
agree with his performance. Yeah.
even in their division, I mean, you still got to get through the Dolphins, so they're going to play the Dolphins again. You got to play the Bills twice.
You got
You
Josh Allen.
yeah, you're going to get two easy dubs on the Jets, but then as it goes for the other wild card race, AFC West is going to be very tight. You know, you're going to have the Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, which are all potential playoff teams. AFC is going to be very interesting again, and I think I think the AFC is going to take 11 wins to get in the playoffs, especially with the 17 game season. I think you're going to have to go, what would that be? 11-6. I think you have to go to 11-6 to get in. I think that's what it's going to take. So can the Patriots go 11-6? I don't know, but I do
I
think
know it might
they'll
be
be
too
there
early.
to
I
the
don't really
end.
see it. Yeah.
But I like him. He looks very poised, accurate, and I liked whoever was commentating the game, I liked what they said because I noticed it too that a good quarterback protects his receivers by throwing it in certain ways so they don't get blasted, especially
Yep.
going down the middle.
You're
And there
not
was
gonna
one,
load them up right down the middle, set them
yeah,
up, and then
and
yeah, like that.
there was one play, I think it was Johnu Smith, and he kind of threw it slightly behind him, but you can tell it's strategic because he threw it in a way to where like it kind of protected his receiver, so he's not just getting blasted. And that's part of a way. And I was watching it, Aaron Rodgers interview, and he's talking about like, look, these receivers put your trust in their hands, and it's right as a quarterback to make sure you put them in a position to where they don't get fucked up, which something a lot of people don't think about, but that is the case. I mean, you lead a receiver right down the middle and they just get blasted by a safety or linebacker, like that could end your season. But yeah, so you think they get in or no?
I don't think they're making it this year. I do think he's the quarterback of the future for that team. He 100% fits that system. That's the guy they wanted. You know, they even released Cam. even bother to keep him as a backup. They just got rid of him. You know what I
Which
mean? They
I
didn't
was
want any
surprised. I
they
was
didn't
very
want any
surprised at that.
distractions. They didn't want any distractions, right? They didn't want any noise in the background with, if he's, underperforming and you got Cam in the back saying put me in, and then the fans get into it and saying we want Cam. No, like that's the guy they're sticking with. And I think that's their future quarterback. And Bill Belichick, they made that decision. But he definitely performed. They didn't get the win, but all the good qualities you mentioned that he has, he showed, in the first game, and he looks like he's a student of the game, smart decision making, good arm, in the pocket, wasn't scared, good play calling on his end. He's gonna be there for a while.
Yeah. And we never we never got to talk about the Cam thing, but just to say real quick, I don't know if Cam could I don't think he came out with I don't know if you heard, he had a big he has a YouTube channel. He did like this whole long interview with his dad talking about everything that what
Yeah,
happened in New England.
all bits and pieces. Yeah,
Yeah, and basically he was saying he's like he'd been willing to be a backup, but he knew, and I think even the Patriots, and he it makes sense. Like I don't know, Cam just even if he is willing to be a backup,
yep,
somebody of his somebody of his stature and just his tenure in the game, there's going to be people caught he's such a big presence. Like his presence there would just be hard for him to be a backup. And he could be
yeah,
perfectly fine and act normal, but it's just the presence of him being there and knowing what he was. People are going to he no starter's going to feel comfortable knowing that Cam's behind him. And I agree
exactly,
with him when he said that. Like it's just one of
exactly.
those. Even if he is older and he's getting older and he's not who he was, it's just
It's
at the
not
end of the
gonna be like
day,
a
he's
Fitzpatrick
been
Tua situation. It's not gonna be like that in New England.
yeah, Cam was an MVP. He went to the Super Bowl. He has been one of the top quarterbacks in the league for years, and he's relatively young. Yeah, he's been banged up with a lot of injuries, but he's still relatively young. I think he's like 32 or something like that. So it is but I think he deserves to be in the league. He's too talented. And honestly, even he said, and I don't know if there's 32 guys better than him. Like I don't know. Because there was flashes last year. Last year there was before he got COVID, there was games where he looked really good. I remember specifically that Seahawks game, Seahawks Patriots
Seahawks
game,
game,
he
big game.
looked great. And I don't know if there's 32 other guys that are better than him. And I think I agree with him on that.
Well, injuries are bound to happen throughout the season, and knock
We'll
on wood,
see.
obviously, we wouldn't want it to happen to anybody. But that's usually when it's other players' time to shine, right? During that time, oh,
Because
he has to stay ready, so he doesn't have to get ready.
it's going to be hard if he misses a
Ready.
whole season. Missing a season in the NFL it's tough to come back from. Not physically, but just
Yeah,
that mentality that people have, oh, he hasn't played in a season, what will that mean? They want people playing every
especially as
single
a
year.
quarterback. Especially as a quarterback, your timing can be off. Your decision
Mhm.
making could be off. You lose that, that little competitive edge out
I
there on
mean,
the
it's
field.
one of the things. I mean, you played sports. There at the end of the
Yeah,
day, there's the best way to get game ready is to play a game,
to play.
because you can train and all this stuff, but there's nothing going to be like going out there and actually playing the game, whether it be football, baseball,
Yeah.
soccer, hockey, whatever it is. It is one of those where it's like the best way to get game ready is to play the fucking game.